This is Page Up with Dr. Angela Lauria, helping you write a nonfiction book that gets clients, drives revenue, and builds credibility. Learn more at pageuppodcast.com. Our next author is actually a two-time author with us. It's always nice to have repeat authors back on the show again. Hello, Charlotte Freeburg. How are you?
Hi, Angela. I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Charlotte, this time is the author of Fulfilled Working Mom. Have it all in your family and career. Well, what an important time for that message. Mom's jobs have changed so much in the last few months. Tell us about this book and who it's for.
Yes, for sure. So this book, I found out that I felt there was a need for it after I wrote the first book, which was Make Your Own Money Again, and having lots of conversations with women, with moms, and realizing how many of us struggle with feeling pulled in all directions when we both want to have a career and still be an amazing mom. And I felt there was a need to go deeper into that. So in this book here, I am providing tools and tips, material, my own experience and others' experience, how we can have a fulfilled career, soul fulfilled career, whatever we want to call it, and also be amazing moms and be, showing up in our family and with our friends. We can have it all, but we just sometimes need some adjustments, the way we plan our days, the way we think, what we focus on, the choices we make in order to have that and find that more like inner peace and trust in our life. So it's a lot about learning to make decisions. I'm writing about that and feel good about the decisions we make and when to make the decisions, the timing. And it all really comes down to being more connected with ourselves. And that way, what I have experienced and heard others experience too is that when we go through that journey, we also connect way better with the people around us.
Yeah. Is there an age you think that's more, an age of children that's more challenging for moms? Do you think it's harder at the beginning, harder when they're older?
Yes. For me, I want to say my personal opinion and experience with that was, for me, it was very important to stay home. I wanted to be the mom that I didn't experience. My mom couldn't be that way for me or show up that way for me at that time. And I'm sharing that in the book as well. But the first years are so important. So I know a lot of the first years in a child's life is so important. So for some moms, it's important to stay home. And I think so this is something that's important when I talk to moms also about that timing, that if we can stay home with them, with our kids, and that's what we want, because not everybody wants that, I fully support that. And especially the first 5-7 years. But then and here's the thing, but if we don't feel like that's our call to stay home, if we just know it will stress us out, and that's the truth for many moms, I think it's better we find a career that we are happy about, and then together find a way how to manage, find that balance in life. How can we show up the best when we are home with our kids and our family? How can we show up the best when we are at work? So it's very individual, the age, the timing. It's very individual. And that, I think, instead of us seeking answers outside and ask others, I think it's more important that we learn to listen to what's right for us and trust that there is a solution that's right for us.
Love it. Well, I know you've done 2 books with us, so I'll just ask you, what has the process of writing a book been like? Give us a little behind the scenes about writing Fulfilled Working Mom.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you shared earlier that the interesting thing was that after I decided to sign up to write book number 2, right after the world was hit with COVID-19. and I really felt that, actually I felt that, oh, because that uncertainty really, I mean, it comes up in everybody's life. And I think these tools that I'm providing in this book is just even more important now for everybody. But writing book number 2, having gone through the experience writing the first book, and then I've been working with Author Incubator for a year with the coaches and the staff at Author Incubator. It has really helped me to, in many ways in my life. And when I started writing book number 2, I could just enjoy and relax the whole process more. And it was very interesting because I trust the process. I mean, I did that with the first book too. The container, the guidelines, the support from not just in the program, from all the staff members at Author Incubator is amazing. But because I have gone through the personal development, I think we can call it, myself that year, I really felt I enjoyed the writing process this second time even more.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Charlotte Freeburg is the author of Fulfilled Working Mom, Have It All in Your Family and Career, book number 2. Congratulations.
Thank you, Angela.
Great to have you here. Our next author is the author of Winning Your Parents' Approval for Divorce, 7 Practices to Leave Your Marriage with Their Blessing, Cindy Gunaraj. There it is. Hello.
Hello.
Well, this book now on audiobook. Congratulations. I want to talk about it. Let's explain why you wrote it and who it's for, and then we'll talk about your amazing evolution over the year.
Yeah, for sure. So this book, Dr. Angela, I wrote it for Indian women, or brown women, if you will. And it's really my story about, I was in a toxic marriage, and when I was getting ready to leave, I came up against needing my parents' approval. And the culture, it just wasn't conducive to supporting divorce. And that is one of the what I experience, and talking to so many women, brown women, you have these spoken and unspoken rules. And there's when you step out and do something different, you're met with resistance. And so this book is for a woman that, she knows that she's done with this marriage, that it is not helping her, to her highest potential, if you will, and she feels trapped. But she has to then navigate, how does she leave this and still have the support of her community, her culture. So I have 7 practices that I distill in this book that helps her do this.
For you, this book, I think, was almost like a stepping into your leadership at the next level. And I've watched you build a business and shift a lot of things in your life. Can you talk about what the journey's been like, and who do you serve, and what are you doing now? I think you're writing another book with us now. So let's talk about your journey, and what role did this book play in that journey?
I would say, just like several other of the authors mentioned, it's been transformational for me. I've actually been able to step more into my own voice and it's giving me a bigger platform. So it's given me more speaking opportunities to reach, brown women, and what I'm discovering, other women of color, who live under this cloak, if you will, that really needs to be aired out so transformation can happen. So it's definitely increased my exposure. But when I say transformational, it's actually, I've come full circle with my family, my parents. I was called after this book, Dr. Angela, to heal, stuff with my parents, where I moved back and I'm living with my parents, taking care of them. My dad is undergoing cancer treatment. They're getting older, so it's like, talk about full circle, and
Yeah.
I just find that I have this ability of understanding parents, and because I did the work and I'm living it, that this is where I can shine more light, if you will.
So powerful. Anything you want to share about your experience with the author incubator or your experience as an author?
Yeah, you all created such I would call it like a really lovely womb for the birth of this book, because I too didn't know what kind of book I was going to write. And I'm so glad you all, were able to actually pull out of me what was really inside. And so then it gave me this full circle moment, and you can't really, you can't put a price on that. And I'm just so happy that I was part of this team and other authors that have lived some really hard things and came through it and want to share their message.
So powerful. It's an amazing community. Winning Your Parents' Approval for Divorce, 7 Practices to Leave Your Marriage with Their Blessing. It's now on audiobook by best-selling author Cindy Gunaraj. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So excited for you. Hopefully I'll see you soon. So our first author is the author of To Medicate or Not, That is the Question, How to Improve Your Blood Test Results with the Least Amount of Medication Possible, Dr. Asha Pai Bahanan. Hi, how are you, Dr. Asha?
I'm great, Dr. Angela. How are you doing?
So fun to talk about this journey. I want to talk about To Medicate or Not and who it's for. And then I just also want to talk about so many things that have come from this book and how it has changed your life and other people's lives over the last year. So let's talk about this book if people want to get it on audiobook. What's it about?
Absolutely. So it is, again, like the title, it's the question of whether to medicate or not. I am actually a pharmacist. I have dubbed myself the rebel pharmacist because I am anti-medication if we can help it. I know there's a necessity for them, but if we can do it in more natural, holistic ways, why not? So this book is about my journey, actually, in my health journey through after having my second child and everything failing. My blood test results were off, but they weren't off enough to really get a diagnosis of anything. And so I struggled. And so I really looked to what we all look to. I looked at Dr. Google. I looked at social media. And I just looked to our healthcare system in the United States. And I was just people were wanting to ply me with more and more prescriptions. And I just was against it. And so I started to look at myself holistically, the stress that I had put on myself, the lack of self-care over the years, the idea, I love all the books about momhood, because the idea of basically changing my life to be a mom and just delving into that and not taking care of myself was a huge part of that. So I share my process, my 7-step process of how to really look through your life as a whole person.
I love that. And then let's talk about your journey over the last year and how being an author has changed things for you.
Well, like a lot of others on here, I had the dream since a little girl that I wanted to be an author, and the dream has come true. Last year, I was in a lot of these ebook authors position, and I was able to actually fulfill that dream. And then since then, it's just really helped me start my holistic wellness practice that has become booming. It's been awesome to be able to help so many people with their health and find the root causes of what's going on with them. And then now I'm actually helping other pharmacists create other opportunities just like mine. And I'm in the process of writing my second book with the author incubator as well, which will come out later this year. So
I'm so excited about that. And just to see how when you have a method or a process, when you get really clear about who you are, a lot of people think writing a book is just about the book, but for me, so much of it is how it changes you, and getting that process down, owning your expertise. I'm like so sure that's a big part of why so many other pharmacists and wellness professionals are coming to you now saying, wait, how are you doing this? We need to know more. So, and that is like exponential, right? There's all the people you can help, but then when you're helping other caregivers and wellness providers, now your reach is exponential. So I'm so excited to see how many people's lives have actually been changed by this book, even beyond the readers.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been an awesome experience, and I can't thank Author Incubator enough for helping me do this entire process, and just the support in the community has been, I mean, it's a part of my family.
It's awesome. We feel the same way about you. If you are somebody who does not like to read, here's your chance to listen. Get a hold of Dr. Asha Pai Bahanan's audiobook, To Medicate or Not. That is the question: how to improve your blood test results with the least amount of medication possible. Congratulations on your audiobook coming out in the world.
Thank you.
Our next author has one of my favorite names of all of our authors. He is the author of The Ultimate Cure for Depression, Leveraging Science and Faith for Total Healing. Dr. Joy. Hello, Dr. Joy. How are you?
I'm great, Dr. Angela. How are you?
I'm fantastic. I love your background. You look amazing.
I'm just trying to be like you, Dr. Angela.
Yeah, well, you're doing a great job of it. The Ultimate Cure for Depression. You're a therapist. Are you a psychologist or psychiatrist? I always forget.
I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and my doctorate degree is in psychiatric nursing.
So depression is such a huge topic. And then the last 3 months times 1,000. So this book coming out on audiobook now, the timing couldn't be better. I want to talk about who this is for. What is the ultimate cure for depression? Why should people get this book?
Okay, so I am a psychiatric nurse practitioner and also a pastor in a local church here in Tucson, Arizona. And I noticed along the line that in the field of psychiatry and in medicine in general, practitioners tend to use just one or two interventions. We're either prescribing medications or doing psychotherapy, and we leave a whole lot of potentially effective interventions on the table. And so the reason I wrote this book, The Ultimate Cure for Depression, Leveraging Science and Faith for Total Healing, is to help educate anyone that is dealing with a mood disorder. It can be depression, it can be anxiety, it can be bipolar disorder, but anyone that's dealing with any kind of mood disorder, to leverage more resources than just the traditional resources that we know of. So anything from medications to psychotherapy to faith interventions and even natural supplements can be helpful, but we tend to leave those on the table and we just focus on one or two traditional interventions.
So it's really that combination of the pharmaceutical background and your spiritual background. I love how they come together. what has changed for you since the book came out?
A lot, Angela. I would say that because of the book, I've been able to convert my practice. I am in private practice, and my practice used to be called Tucson Treatment Center, which was so generic. I had just come out of school and I was doing things the way that everybody did things, but I was able to convert my practice into a truly integrative practice where I now have, for instance, I have a program, my flagship program called the Emotional Resilience Coaching. And that's an 8-week program that I take people through everything from, comprehensive, more of a comprehensive treatment. Take people from psychiatric evaluations through medication management, psychotherapy, faith-based interventions, and even life coaching, some life coaching approaches. Because somebody might be depressed just because they're having a relationship problem and they need some coaching in relationships. Somebody might be depressed because they have not clarified their life mission. They are kind of at a loss in their life. So I've realized that I have transitioned into a truly integrative practice. And I can see my patients are getting better results, and the word is getting into more places than it used to.
So powerful. I'm so excited. Dr. Joy Kwekui, he is the author of The Ultimate Cure for Depression, Leveraging Science and Faith for Total Healing, now on audiobook. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Angela.
If you're ready to build your business with a book, take my free class at pageuppodcast.com.